Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin and it is Monday. Today's topic is frequency and actually connecting to ourselves as the energetic beings that we are and interacting with that energy in a direct way to shift our experience. So, before we get started, let's just take a minute or two to settle in and get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and just imagine clear, brilliant, crisp oxygen flowing into your lungs and into your bloodstream and nourishing all the cells of your body and your organs. And as you exhale, exhale any tension in your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, your back, your hips, your legs, your arms. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose. Hold it and imagine sparkling white light just enlivening every molecule of your being and flowing throughout every crevice, every nook and cranny, and moving out into the world beyond, connecting you to this vast universe. And exhale any tension, any stress. And now let's gently press our palms together and really, really softly, softly, softly rub your fingers against your palms. Feel the tickling in your fingers and the tickling in your palms and how delicious that is. And just become present to that sensation of being here in this physical body right here, right now. And interesting that we talk about being in a physical body and energy all at the same time. I wanted to talk about energetic frequency because when we experience highs and lows, there's a correlated energy that's associated with that. So before I dig in here, I just want to say welcome and thank you so much for being here. I so enjoy our time together, and I hope you'll play with me with this because it was sort of a revelation that occurred to me this morning. I was feeling really low, just really low, with no provocation really, just sometimes you feel low. And I did a bunch of work on myself and just trying to bring myself back into a more elevated state. And what I discovered, or what I had a moment's thought about and played with, which became a discovery, was that I could connect to the energy. Like I was feeling really low frequency. And so, as good morning, Marcy Scott, welcome. We're talking about frequency and interacting directly with our energetic frequency instead of trying to mitigate the emotions or adjust our reactions and be in the drama of whatever's going on, to really connect with ourselves on an energetic level. So I was feeling low this morning, and what I got inspired to do is to actually allow myself to feel, and I talk about feeling the feelings all the time, but usually that's in the context of emotion. So what I allowed myself to do was feel the energy of the moment, feel the energy in my body. And what I noticed is that I felt a constriction in my throat. I felt a heaviness in the center of my chest. And as I tuned into the energy, and I'm doing it right now, and I invite you to do it, to just feel into your body, to recognize what is happening on an energetic level with you. So just feel that, like as I'm touching in, I'm aware of some intensity of energy in my right hand. I'm feeling kind of a I'm just tuning in to feel this. I invite you to do the same. I'm feeling kind of a low sort of thrumming uh, feeling of energy in my gut, and a pulsing in my right foot of sort of an energetic charge and surge that comes and goes. And now, as you tune into this energy, I'm wondering what happens for you if you can be present to the energy and imagine elevating it. Imagine lifting the frequency of it. And as I do that, I notice that I have like a little tingling in my spine, and I actually feel lighter. I actually feel like a lifting of the heaviness, the emotional heaviness that I was feeling. And I feel a lighter experience in my chest where it's lifting a bit. And as I put my attention there and think about elevating the frequency, like in increasing the frequency, what I notice is that it's lightening up. And I'm wondering if you have a similar experience. I'm wondering what it is for us to be able to play with the energetic patterns that are happening in our body directly, rather than trying to deal with all the emotional stuff. Because there are times when you can impact the emotional state by addressing it. And there are times when addressing it just doesn't seem to make it go away or relieve or release, let's say it that way, or to shift, transform. So I'd love to hear your feedback on this idea of really tuning into what's happening in your body. Good morning, Dido. We're playing with our energetic frequency as a way to shift our state, rather than dealing with the emotion, to just sort of connect into the physiology of what's going on in our bodies. And this is coming from really feeling kind of low this morning and doing all kinds of things to shift it and not finding relief. And so what I noticed, and I'm noticing now, and I invite you to play with me with this, just to feel into the energy, the movement of energy in your body, and like an overall frequency. If you can tune in to sort of an overall frequency, the experience of that in this moment, and what happens as you put your attention on lifting that frequency, increasing that frequency. So, Marcy, you said you're feeling kind of down and not going to work today. I was feeling kind of down myself, like a lot. And I had a very restless night's sleep. I woke up pretty much every 2 hours. And even in sort of a meditation and doing all these other things to try and clear myself, I wasn't meeting with tremendous success. And I'm finding that this energy thing is making a difference. So if you feel into your body, Marcy, I'm especially curious to know if this works for you. If you feel into like the pervasive energy pattern, the chances are that it's kind of low, right? That it might be kind of slow, that it might feel kind of thick. And Marcy says, drama all the time off, 3 days. I'll feel better after 3 days. Well, I'm inviting you to see if maybe you can even feel a little better now. You know, just to allow, because I think when we put our attention on the energy, it takes our attention away from the thoughts that are running and running and running for a little bit, and to really tune in and see if you can feel that pattern. I still have some stuckness here. Thank you. I'm glad you're going to give it a shot, Marcy. So let's try this out together. We can just sort of like right here in my chest, I feel sort of a heaviness. So is that if I tune into that energy and I imagine it as a wave, right? Frequency is the frequency of the waves. Amplitude is the height of the waves. If we tune into the pattern of the waves, what happens if we make them happen more frequently? What happens if we imagine those those waves happening more frequently? What I'm noticing, interesting, and I'm fascinated by this actually, because it never occurred to me to try doing this before in all my years and years and years of energy work. But as I'm tuning in and I make imagine the frequency pattern being faster, what I'm noticing is that the heaviness that was here is moving up, and now I'm feeling some tingling in my shoulders and kind of a lifting on the back of my neck and in my back. And ooh, it's actually shifting the whole experience of it and it's truly lightening it up. I'm wondering, Dido, if you're experiencing that, or Marcy, if you're experiencing that, or if anybody else who's listening to this is experiencing this shift by interacting directly with ourselves as energetic beings. And where this comes from is I know that I've shared with a bunch of you that I did some channeled writing a while ago, or started a while ago, and I'm now compiling all this content for a book that's going to be published. And it talks a lot about how we're moving into a new dimension of sorts, and we're able to connect more directly with the energetic element in all things, and in ourselves, in creation, and that as a result we'll be able to shift energy, manipulate energy, change circumstances in a way that we haven't been able to do before. And so I'm thinking that we have a more direct access to these, to the less crystallized form of matter, which is energy. It is. And as we get engaged on that level with our being and our world, we can create things that previously were considered miracles, right? Because matter was perhaps more crystallized. So Michelle says, "Hi, I'm new here." Well, welcome, Michelle. You are completely welcome. And today is kind of a fun day, a bit of a departure, actually, where we're actually talking about digging in and experiencing the energetic beingness that we are, and seeing if through our intention we can shift our experience, our physical experience, through our intention and our attention to the energetic flow in our being. So this was driven by feeling kind of low and uncomfortable this morning for me. And it just occurred to me that I felt like the energy that was in me was just super dense. Not that was in me, that is me. And it felt super dense. And so I started playing with the idea of shifting the frequency, elevating the energy of changing, making the wave patterns more frequent, faster. And as I did that, what I noticed is that my my energy feels lighter. I feel lighter. And it it showed up in all kinds of physiological changes. So how can we connect to the energy or our own energy pattern? Well, if you focus on your breath for a minute and allow yourself to sort of sink into your shoulders and feel your back, feel your hands, and just be present for a moment. If you just breathe in and feel the energy in your body, feel like I still have this surging, pulsing, sort of electric energy happening in my right foot. And what else are you noticing about the energy inside your body? Marcy says, I like to go to the park or lake. It's right across the street from me. Well, certainly being in a beautiful place where you can relax a bit and be present helps you to tune into the energy that's going on. And it's kind of an inward journey, so we can do it pretty much anywhere. And I just invite you to feel your body not as not as necessarily flesh and bones right now, but to feel your body as the electrical currents or the energy sensations that you might be having. Like notice where there's a place of congestion. So there's still a little bit of heaviness for me in my chest and in my belly. And so if I put my attention on those places and imagine that allowing that energy to become less dense, then what I'm noticing is that there is a shift. There is a shift. And I invite you to play with this. I know it's a little esoteric, but I think it's really fascinating because what's shifting for me as I'm directly shifting that energy is my state is shifting. My emotional state is shifting. I feel lighter, emotionally lighter, as well as the heaviness that I had felt in my chest is dissipating. I'm wondering, is that something that you're experiencing at all? If you're willing to be trying it out with me right now, because I think this is a direct intervention when maybe other things just keep roiling and roiling, the thoughts keep going, and by moving the energy and putting your attention there, it shifts your energy away from the things that were kind of keeping a compression and an intensity there. So what's your experience of that? How does are you able to access that? To here's a way that you can feel your body as energy if you're not acclimated to this, if this is completely foreign to you. One of the things that you can do is actually rub your hands together. If you rub your hands together fast, it's almost like building up static energy. And then stop, and you're going to feel like a vibration in your hands. You're going to feel like almost a magnetic energy. And then you can actually hold your hands toward each other, and you can kind of play with feeling that energy. And if you do it slowly, you can almost feel it compressing. You might feel more heat in your hands building. You might feel a little bit of a magnetic polarization where you actually, the hands want to, they push together, and it's getting more and more intense in the energy. And you could sort of feel an energy ball as you play with that. And then if you expand it, you can pull that energy and feel the vibration, maybe the tingling or the warmth in your hand or the intensity of it. And so this starts to get you tuned in. You can roll your hands around each other and play with that energy in between them, and then use that awareness now to tune into other energies that are moving through your body, or the other energetic sensations. Because in a way, so Marcy says, yes, I feel it. That's awesome, right? Is this cool or what? I know I've spoken about this before, but that energy from your hands that you feel, your plants will love it. Pets, sometimes it's too intense for pets. But if you have pain or somebody, when I first discovered this, I was able to support people in letting go of their headaches and all kinds of things like that. So um, that energy that we're exchanging with our environment all the time. And when we elevate our energy, we elevate the energy that we're exchanging with the environment too. So I hope this has been sort of a fun play date today. It's a little bit of a revelation to me, which I have to say surprises me, because I have been playing with energy for forever, it seems. And it just didn't occur to me ever to visualize shifting the frequency of the energetic pattern directly. I've put attention on energy. I've allowed that energy to dissipate. I've done energy work with my hands and with intention. But this new idea of actually playing with the pattern of the frequency is a whole new deal. So I invite you to, if you've done the hand thing that we just did, maybe you could also clear the energy from your body by wiping it and releasing it. So that's something that's nice to do and effective in my experience. So Marcy says, what kind of necklace are you wearing? So, oh my gosh, how funny. This is from a meteorite, and it's called moldavite. And it's I just made the string that I wear it on. But moldavite is a super high frequency stone, and when I first got it, I held it all day. It was the very first stone. I have lots and lots of minerals, and um, I have tuned into their energy for years and years. But when I picked this up, it zapped me. I held it all day, and then by the end of the day, I was practically jumping out of my skin. It was so intense. And from that day forward, pretty much after I acclimated to it, I wear it all the time. Thank you for asking, Marcy. Dido says, I like this. I'm really visual. I just looked up images of high versus low frequency waves so I could visualize them. That's a great idea, Dido. And I suggest that that's great for other folks that are visually oriented too, is to just imagine these frequency waves. Did it work for you, Dido? And Marcy says, oh, she has a moldavite also. I love it. I love it. And I have on a couple occasions taken this necklace off overnight or for one occasion or another. And when I did, I crashed. I was shocked to feel the difference without it. So I pretty much wear it all the time. So it was only after I held it that first day and got myself pretty overstimulated that I learned that Moldavite is something that you should be weaning yourself into or acclimating yourself into uh, gradually. Well, I didn't do that, but fortunately it worked out. Out, all smoothed out in the long run. So I think that might do it for today. This whole energy fun thing. So I invite you really to check in and see. Dido, I have to ask you, did it work when you are playing with the visualization of the frequency? Did it shift your experience? Because I'm actually finding that it is. And I think I'm going to be using this technique more often. And it's really quite remarkable because even when we're in the dumps, a lot of the way that we keep ourselves there is through our thoughts. And what I noticed is that in doing this frequency thing, the thoughts shifted too. They became less prominent and less important. They just sort of went away. Dido says, yes, I had a lot of intense challenges this weekend. Now it's like after the storm, feels like a good way to release. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. And I'm glad that it's after the storm. I hope that that it's a clear sky now for you. And I send lots and lots of love. So I'd love to be in touch and catch up with what's going on with you. Anyway, lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much for joining me and for playing this morning. This was great. And I'm here on the Core Connection every weekday morning. We broadcast live on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page. And check out the wonderful programming actually on Enlightened World Network. Community, brilliant people, lots of heart and spirit and love. And hopefully you'll join me again. Thanks so much for being here. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a great one.